Hello again everybody and welcome back to Fugit's Blitz with me, Fugit. Hello. I've been doing a lot of advanced tactics videos recently and this video is no different, although it's not strictly speaking an advanced tactic. It's a tactic of sorts. And we're talking about time. Now, like most games, coming first generally gives you some kind of reward. I mean, if you are the best player in that tank and you are the first to reach a certain amount of damage, then you'll get into the Hall of Fame or you'll get a mastery badge. Blitz, therefore, has rewards like any other game for coming first. However, there are no rewards for being the first back into your garage. One thing every type of game has in common is that the entire idea is to actually win the game. Doesn't matter how you win it, no, not really, but winning is the key. Everything else, big damage, golden M's and all the other such, they're all bonuses. The primary aim of the game is to win. Now you don't win by rushing headlong into trouble. Just doesn't work that way. Rushing or YOLOing has always been a problem in Blitz. It's nothing new. Not really, it's always been there. Last year when I was at Tank Fest, one of the wargaming directors told me that the average game time in Blitz is 3 minutes. Yeah, that's right. Less than half the time allotted, which is actually 7 minutes. But don't worry, Older Tank's PC is 7 minutes, the average game time, so it's a lot worse. Now there are times and places for aggressive play, but not straight from the off, not unless you're an incredibly skilled player who is able to deftly avoid incoming fire, whilst being able to 1v1 some of the better players out there. Timing in Blitz is not quite everything, but it is important. You need to take your time. You need to time your pushes correctly and by default your aggression. But above all, you need to slow down the pace of your game and you need to force the enemy to make mistakes. Mistakes that you can then punish. Being first back to the garage is not a good thing. Making the other team to be first back to the garage, however, is something different. Patton famously stated once, "Dying for your country doesn't win wars. Making the other poor bastard die for their country does." And that is something that needs to be applied when you roll out in Blitz. So in this video, we're going to look at two replays. No, not the one we're seeing now. One where the enemy rushes so quickly that it beggars belief, and the other, why you should resist that temptation to rush. Why you should bide your time and think through your actual gameplay. This is the first replay, and this is me rolling out in the 047. It's a little tier 8 medium tank, and we're here on Falls Creek. Now, I anticipated some of their team coming this way because they're very mobile. What I didn't anticipate was the likes of this Lorraine. What on earth is the Lorraine doing? I mean, there are YOLO rushes and there are YOLO rushes, but logic should dictate that when you are spotted and all of a sudden the majority of your enemy team is spotted, you don't continue your push. I mean, that is just silly, and that is aggression in the wrong direction. But the thing is, the Lorraine isn't the only culprit here. The rest of the team also decide, well, it'll be a good idea to YOLO rush into the enemy as well. And this is where it beggars belief, because I do not understand the thought processes of these players. Now look, you could turn around and say, but Fuji, they've all got less than 500 battles, or they've all got less than 40% win rate. And that is actually not true. Most of these players have got over 20,000 battles, and most of them are 50% plus. So, how did they get there? Because with these tactics, it's unbelievable, to be honest with you. This is just a farm fest. These enemy tanks are just lining up to be put back into the garage. It's that simple. This game doesn't even go to the 3 minute mark. Not really. Well, I think it does actually. I think it just goes. We're only at 2 minutes now, and there's only 2 tanks left on their team. I mean, that is just outrageous, and this is tier 8. This isn't tier 1 or tier 3 or tier 4, it's tier 8. Now we're coming up to the 3.5 minute mark and the game is over, basically. It's not even lasted as long as I would have expected, to be honest with you. And that is when you don't YOLO rush. That is rushing in a stupid and silly manner. That achieved nothing for the enemy team, and it was an easy victory. All we did was have to sit there and just farm them. So that is an example of what you should not do. Don't rush. Stop rushing. It's just stupid. Now we're going to see an example of what happens when you are cool, calm and collected. And more importantly, take your time. Here we are on mines in the STB-1, the tier 10 Japanese medium tank. And we're going up to the obligatory position to overlook the hill. I know the STB has got a pretty decent turret, a pretty decent gun, so I'm not in the mind to go up onto the hill itself. I want to stay on this ridge. Now, I'll be honest with you, the E50M is going to give me a hard time, a really hard time, and I expect that from an E50M, especially if it's being driven by a player who knows what he's doing, because the E50M, just like the STB-1, has also got a rock-solid turret. In fact, I'm going to pen him with anything other than Pramo. But the idea here, and the idea of this game, is not to rush. We are going to try our best to whittle them down. Now, we are going to lose hit points. That's inevitable. We are going to take damage. That is also inevitable. But as long as we can hold our nerve and defend the line and resist that temptation to rush, we should be in a position to turn this game in time. Because over time, players get frustrated and they see an opportunity and they may make mistakes. And when they make mistakes, that is when you can pounce and you can penalize that mistake. Now, so far, only their T55A has made a mistake. The E50M is doing really well, same as the K91. But frustration will eventually kick in. They've got 2D TDs sat at the back, the Jaegeru and the 183, neither of which, because of the positions that I and my teammate are taking, they're not able to get any shots onto us. So we're just biding our time. We're not rushing over the top. We're not putting ourselves in harm's way. We're not taking unnecessary risk at this moment. We've already lost a tank because their heavies have gone down toward the town area. But that happens. The town area, the heavies generally go there nowadays. We're quite happy, however, sitting on this ridge and keeping these 3 tanks occupied. And that's the point. You can see we're slowly whittling them down. It's taking time, and we ourselves are losing hit points. All of a sudden, we've lost 3 tanks. They've only lost 1, the T55A. But the K91 is now looking worse for wear. The E50M is also looking worse for wear. We are still mindful of those 2 big TDs sat at the back. And at this moment in time, we do not have the full advantage in this game. Not really. We are 3 tanks down to their 1. And the temptation to now rush over the top and finish off the E50M and the K91 is there. You've got to resist that temptation, because I know for a fact we're also both very low hit points. My teammate is down to a 1-shot. I'm down to effectively a 2-shot. The E50M is gone. I can see the Jaegeru will not get a shot on me. I'm going to push over the ridgeline a little bit, try and get a shot into that K91. I'm doing it tentatively, trying to make sure that the armor of the STB-1 is being used. There he is, and there he goes. Still, it's now 3 against 4. We've turned the game around ever so slightly. This now allows me to move from that position and go and take out that E4. The E4 is probably going to be able to kill Hori, which he does. Not to worry, he's now on his reload. I am on spotted at this moment in time. I don't think he's looking in my direction. I should be able to put one into him and take him out. And just like that, it's 3 against 2. We have now done a 4-minute game. And it's not over. They've got 2 very healthy TDs, the Jaegeru and the Death Star. I'm now going to rotate all the way around the back of the map and go down the opposite flank. This is what you can do when you decide not to rush. Now is the time for us to try and pick off these tanks. Again, the temptation to rush in there headlong is there, and you've got to resist it. There's the 183, put one into him. I managed to stay on spotted because I'm behind a rock. There's the Jaegeru. They're both effectively full HP. So we've got to be careful. We can't go rushing headlong. And as I say, the temptation is there, and a lot of players would like to rush. We're now 2 minutes to go, the 5-minute mark in the game. We are just trying to be cool, calm, and collective. I'm going to keep the 183 spotted if I can. Doesn't matter. My teammate knows where he is. He's going to blind shot him, and out he goes. This leaves us just the Jaegeroo to contend with. I know where he is. There he is. I'm now going to use the terrain to pop over, put one into his side. He should then look and focus upon me, maybe, I don't know, because I'm tantalizingly a one-shot. That should allow my teammates to now put shots into him. There you go. And now he's going to turn his gun to face them, and I will finish him off. We had 1 minute and 20 seconds left of the game. We did 3,245 damage. Okay, we're not setting the world on fire, but I say to you again, what is it you want? I want to win. And that's how we won that game. Anyway, I've been Fujit. That has been my video on stop rushing. Take your time. Chill. Calm down, guys. If you calm down, the chances of you getting a victory are increased exponentially. Believe me. Anyway, I'd like to hear your comments and everything on this. And until the next time, guys, stay safe out there. Have fun on the battlefield. And happy tanking. Because that is what it's all about. Having fun and being happy.